Hi everyone, welcome to Tuesday's Tips with Laurie. I apologize, I was not on last week. I was not feeling well, so I apologize. But today I wore my polka dots because I'm always wearing stripes, so I wear my polka dots to support those polka dot people that were out there. We had a lot more stripes people than I thought that we would. But my sister-in-law called me and said, hey, you forgot florals. There's people out there that don't like stripes or polka dots, they like florals. So if you're a floral gal, give me a thumbs up. All right, today I thought that we would get started with learning how to hoop the loops. These loops on these cute little Chanel, these are the Christmas Chanel hot pads. And this was one from our fruit stand. And this isn't this adorable, except, you know, something went sorely wrong with the loop. So we've tried to develop a system that will hopefully help you to get that hoop, or the loop, right in the hoop every time, start to finish. So what I started out with here is I've got my snowflake, the Chanel snowflake that looks just like this one. And it's ready for the last finishing touches. So the method that we came up with, if you note here, if you look right down here on the table, this is the right way to tape it. This would not be a correct way, you can see, and this is what happens when it's taped this way. This is what ends up happening. It does not sew incorrectly. And if you've got it taped like this, it's a pretty loop, but what happens is this edge, because it's on the inside like this, that will catch as it's sewing, and then when you flip it, that's what happens. And you can note, this is kind of a huge loop. Well, when we do the patterns, I think that you cut the ribbon really close to the same sizes. That's kept for efficiency. But you can change the loop size. If you note on these littler ones how small these little loops are, and then as it gets bigger you can do a little bit bigger loop, and then as you get to your great big one you want a little bit bigger loop so that it's proportionate. So you can change the loop size according to the size that you are making. So really this is a huge loop for this cute little tiny snowman. So the way I do it is I'll start it over here. I take my ribbon, and this is a double-sided ribbon, but if it were just a printed ribbon on one side, keep track of the print. You take it and you do loop it, and then I make sure that they stack directly on top of each other, like so. And then I'm going to take that piece of tape and I'm going to put it right about the place where I'm going to crisscross right off the top of this, and I put it right at that corner, if you can see that. So you can see where the corner is, that tape goes almost right to that very corner, and they actually are sitting right one on top of each other. Believe it or not, that's how these turn out, is if it's one on top of the other, and this is looped. You can see that it's looped. Now this would be my printed side. My printed side goes face down, so that it's right sides to right sides, and this would be the wrong side of the ribbon right here. And once you get that in place, then you're going to place your back two pieces, and this is brilliant. I don't know how they come up with such great ideas, but it's just a piece that's folded in half, and it's an envelope style enclosure. And I like to do, and you take the fold piece and it goes towards the center, and it covers just right over that ribbon, and it'll overlap. And I like to always put the bottom up on this side, because when you flip it right side out, then the top is the one that's over the bottom. So it's just reverse. Once I get it to that point, I like to add the tape, because we don't want to catch that on that presser foot. And then we will stitch this, and it does the outside stitch, and it goes around it twice. And And I had a lot of you guys write in and said that you enjoyed watching doing an embroidery project, which so we can do that again where we can start it at the very beginning as well. And this will just stitch around, make sure that it doesn't pucker. But don't put your finger under the needle. I've done that. And when it's finished, we'll pull it out and we'll trim. And it'll turn, it'll look like this. I'll show you while it's finishing stitching. You'll pull it out and it'll look just like this after you trim. So you're going to trim 1/4 of an inch all the way around, and then you're going to take your scissors and cut 3 little cuts to make those corners so that they will tuck a little bit better. And then once you tuck it and you pop it right side out, you can see how well the loop turns out. And that is a great way to get those loops. And I know the Chanel fruit stand, we had a few people frustrated with that. Kitchen Event also has a hot pad in it. And there's a sewing version coming out of the fruit stand. So you'll be using this technique often, I hope. And here's just a quick sneak peek at some of these cute Christmas hot pads that you can make coming up. Aren't those just so stinking cute?
Lots of hearts.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So I haven't trimmed it yet, but I'll see if we can flip it. Let's see what happens, shall we? The big reveal. Let's see if it'll flip with all of this fat stuff here. No, let me cut it really quick. I'll at least cut off the extra. And be careful when you're holding your ruler that it doesn't slip when you're cutting, because that's a heartache right there when it happens right at the very end of your project. And then I'll show you how you snip the corners. So I cut like this way, and I cut according to the off the corner, and then I cut it right there. And that makes that trim down really nice. Then when you flip your corner, you've got your loop, and all I do is flip the loop after and look how cute that is, and it comes right out the corner, and it doesn't catch on either side. Whew, glad that worked on video. And that's hooping your loops to perfection, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, tune in next week. We have got a great fun tip for you for next week as well.
And you'll be live at Quilt Market this week too, right?
Yes, we will be live at Quilt Market, and you will have to see some fun new things that are going to happen there. Tune in.